to show you today to get anything done, because if you want to work on campus, it's not easy because they got all this security around here. And I could argue with them trying to get them to turn off the security, but that's unprofessional. We ought to be smart enough to punch through it, which we are. So you go to samsclass.info, and then you click on CNET 40, where we are. And then the projects are down towards the bottom of this page. And here's the required projects, but to work on campus, you're going to have to do some of the extra credit projects, the most important one being an SSH tunnel. Now, I used a VPN last semester, but now they're even blocking VPNs on campus, which is really rude, but I can still use SSH. And if I can get anything out, I can use it as a covert channel and hide all my traffic in there. So we're going to make an SSH tunnel to get unfiltered internet. Now first let's prove what's filtered. If I, for example, try to use Chrome Remote Desktop, which is what I thought would get me through last week. Chrome Remote Desktop is a Google product that lets you control machines remotely, and I thought it would go through the City College firewall. And it probably does, but to use it, you have to go to this website, and they block that website. Oh, now they're not blocking it today, but they were blocking it last week. So that would probably be enough to solve the problem right there. But anyway, last week I had to use this SSH tunnel, so we're going to do it. And you may have to again. They keep changing the security rules around here. One of the other things to keep you on your toes. So the first thing we're going to have to do is make an SSH server outside the firewall. You could in principle be running a virtual machine or a Linux machine at home and use that as your gateway, but I'm going to do it in Azure. So let me get my browser that's connected to my Microsoft account. And let's go to, you create a student account, you'll get a bunch of free credit at Azure. I'm having to pay for mine. I used up my free stuff. So it's portal.azure.com, which by the way was down last week for a few days, but now it's back up. So let me move this over here so I can see what the problem is. Maybe that's the right browser. Let me get this logged in. There we go. All right. I should have, it is the wrong browser. That's why. All right. Let me get the right browser open and go to Portal. There we go. That's why I didn't know about portal.azure.com. Okay. This browser, there we are. I'm already logged in. Good. It's in dark mode, but that's all right. Okay. So here we are at portal.azure.com, logged into my Microsoft Azure, and all you need to do is make a Linux machine. So I go to Virtual Machines, and now add one, create Azure Virtual Machine. And down here I can do things. I don't care about the resource group. The name is going to be SSH. That'll do. And then I don't care where it is, in the east. I guess it should be in the west. Might be a little better, doesn't really matter. Then it's Ubuntu. I could use Ubuntu, but I'm just sort of fed up with Ubuntu. It's irritated me. I'd rather use Debian. Ubuntu is based on Debian unstable. Debian is the root. Doesn't matter. Any Linux would be fine for what we're doing here. And now the spot discount would make it a little cheaper, but it would only run at certain times. I doesn't really need a lot of CPUs or anything. One CPU, 4 gigs of memory, that'll probably be fine. Now, SSH public key is the recommended way to connect, but I'm too lazy to bother. I'm going to use a password, which is the less secure option. So I have to choose a username, which is going to be Sam. And then you have to choose a password that's not incredibly obvious, because as soon as you open an SSH port, you'll start getting brute force attacks. So I'm going to use one that's a little bit hard to guess. There. And have to confirm it here. And if you use the SSH key, that's even more secure. But anyway, a password will do for what I'm doing here. And now I'm just going to have open port 22, which is the default. That's all I want, is just a port 22 open on the internet, outside the City College firewall. And so now I create it. It's going to cost 5 cents an hour, which is not too exorbitant. Okay, and now it's in progress, and it really won't take long because it really doesn't have to do much to make a Linux machine. Yeah?
You can use AWS too, right?
Sure, any cloud service, or even just a virtual machine at home, anything off campus, even a physical machine at home. would do if it's got a public IP address. Yeah. Yep. Azure is number one, though, ahead of AWS these days in many measures. Yeah. AWS was number one for a long time, but the latest measure that I've seen, okay, my deployment is complete. So I will go to resource. The only thing I need is this, the IP address. So that IP address is listening for SSH traffic, and I would like to copy it, but somehow my browser is not cooperating. Fine, one more try. Okay, I'm just going to have to mark it. I'm going to make a text file. For some reason, copy and paste is not working, or maybe I just can't see it. But anyway, it'll do to just write it down. 2057. Okay, 20. I'm having trouble with my mouse. Okay, 2057. Okay. 161.85. Okay. 161.85. Okay, I got it. Now, because I'm on a Mac, the next step is very easy. If I was on Windows, I would have to download PuTTY, which is not too hard, and then use PuTTY to do it. Unless you're very good with PowerShell and your PowerShell is up to date, in which case you could probably do this with PowerShell. But on a Mac or Linux machine, all you need is one command. It's very nice. And there it is. SSH minus capital D will start listening on this port, minus N, and then username at that IP address. This will begin a SOX proxy listening on this port on your local machine. So that's all I need to do. So let me get a terminal. Okay. And I'm going to put it over here. And before I do it, let me show you something. If I see what my IP address, what's my IP? Okay, what's my IP? There's these various sites out there. This would work too, but I'll just use this one. What's my IP.org? My IP address is 147, 144 or something. That is the City College Web Gateway. City College addresses mostly start with 147 and 144. So right now I'm on the City College wireless, and my traffic is originating from City College, and that's a problem because I don't like their content filtering. So I'm going to turn on this tunnel, and I do that here. All right, it's, let me get my instructions again, which are here. There. All right, let me get that. There it is. Let's just put this higher so I can see the instructions. Okay. SSH minus capital D. Oh, it's still not revealing the stuff below it. There we go. 8080. Now the username was Sam at this IP address, which I copied earlier. It should be an M. Sam? Yeah.
Before Sam, it's a minus capital M.
Oh, thank you. Minus capital N. You're right. Good. I'll get that in there too. Good. Thank you. Let me get this IP address. Good. Let's put in the N. All right. There. That's it. Now it's going to ask me if it's okay. I say yes. So I accept this server, and then I give it that high security password I made. And it's connected, and this is just sitting there. That's all. Now, you can tell it's working, by the way, if you open up another terminal, and you can tell it's listening with netstat. My proxy is listening on port 8080, and if I do netstat minus AN pipe grep listening, LAST will do, I'll see what's listening on my machine, and you see right at the top, something is listening on the loopback address on port 8080, and that is my server. So now I just need to configure my machine to use that server. So I go back to my instructions. To use the proxy, you go to Network Preferences, and you set it in the SOX proxy. So here, on a Mac, there's a network icon up here, which I can't really see very well on the projector. Is that it? That's Bluetooth. Let me try and zoom in on it if I can. There we are. There it is, the network icon. Network Preferences. That's what I want. All right. And here in Network Preferences, let me see if I can get this to move over where I can see it. control it. I can't really see where the top of the box is. Oh, there we go. All right. So there's my Wi-Fi. I go to advanced and then proxies. And this is a SOX proxy. That's what it is. And I just have to give it the address, which is localhost 8080. That's it. Now I say OK and apply. Apply there. And now I should be going through there. So if I go back here and see what my IP address is by refreshing this page, which is here, my address is now 2057. So my internet traffic is coming from Azure. I'm tunneling to Azure, and now all my requests and replies are going there. So now I can go to forbidden websites and do whatever I want. This is how you punch through the City College firewall. If you let any kind of traffic go out of your network without filtering it, people can hide anything in that. That's why companies man in the middle everything. Even the encrypted traffic, they will decrypt it and examine it. City College doesn't do that. The SSH goes out without being man in the middle, so all you have to do is tunnel through SSH. And now you have unfiltered internet outside the firewall. So that's the first thing. If you want to set that up, that's extra credit. Let me stop this recording just so I have a separate recording for each project. Yeah.